Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing The Evil Within on Akumu difficulty mode, which is the hardest mode in the game, and this is Chapter 11. It's entitled Reunion. So you can ignore that A button prompt here, and you saw that on one of the horses on the carousel was a goddess statue. So you just need to shoot it and come over to about this location and pick it up. There's very well concealed goddess statues in this chapter. I like this chapter. It's got its hard sections, but they can be dealt with. I have a very good strategy for dealing with the first fight in this particular chapter. I mean, first of all, I did it. I put it in a video form. I was going to proceed, and then I said to myself, let me refine this strategy. Let me waste fewer resources, and that's what you're going to be seeing here. It is the absolute best strategy that I've come up with. So we're approaching the Magnum up here. You're not going to be able to upgrade the Magnum until we deal with the Ruvik imposters, but here's the Magnum. This gun is extremely powerful, and it can be upgraded to do insane amounts of damage. So I haven't quite decided if I want to spend the $50,000 to upgrade the harpoon with the fire attachment or apply other upgrades. I don't think I'm going to do the harpoon upgrade. But the first checkpoint is coming up here, and from the checkpoint that's coming up to the next one, it's a two-wave battle. Broken up by a little lull. So I'm going to be using sniper rifle bullets to deal with some of the stationary enemies, and it's not much of a resource heavy strategy, to be honest. You'll need some flash bolts, but the flash bolts, they only cost 2 to upgrade, so very economical upgrades. Okay, so you'll notice a crossfade over here. I'm going to pick up this med kit just for the hell of it. It has no use, but we'll pick it up anyway. And then there's some boxes to smash by these dryers here, or washers, I'm not sure. So you sprint up here. The guy in the clown mask and the firefighter suit, you want to pin him to the wall with the harpoon bolt, light him on fire, and then we're going to be zooming in extremely far and shooting people in the head. Now you want to fall back here, pick up the matches as well as the green gel, and you can vault over the fence and try to melee these guys, but it takes too long in my opinion, and they hear you when you jump over. So take care of that guy, take care of this guy, and then take care of this motherfucker right there. Shoot him in his ugly fucking face. There we go. So now we can mantle. There is one cannibal coming up. So just make sure that you loot the bodies, make sure there's no green gel. And these guys have a sort of sixth sense, the way they did in Chapter 2, the ambulance driver. When they're feasting on a corpse, they kind of know you're coming, but I have never not been able to stab them. So we'll take care of him. He's the last guy for this particular. I guess it is 3 waves. And then we'll smash these boxes. I got some good pickups here. I got a spare part, and I got a gel for 300 and then 300. So that's very good. And then this one was 200. So next on the agenda is to go up here and pick up the handgun ammunition. And interacting with this door here, which is locked, will trigger wave 2. I'll just call it wave 2. So you want to head up here. If you want to, you can plant an explosive bolt at the base of the door, but it only will kill one enemy because they come out one at a time. So it's completely wasteful in my opinion. This is a great spot on top of this cargo container up here. Just be aware that they can climb up on areas of the container that don't necessarily have to do with ladders. So they'll just come up at random areas. So I like to just shoot them off, and if I get into any jams, I bust out the shotgun. See, sometimes even if they're hanging off the fence, they'll still revive miraculously. So light this guy on fire. 2 guys left, and I think I just jumped off because, see, another issue here is every time you run, you kick up the gravel and the dust obscures your vision, so a little bit annoying. That guy almost hit me with the sledgehammer. We're going to have to put him to bed. And wave 3 is nigh. Now, about wave 3, you're going to have two enemies in clown masks, both of whom have submachine guns, and then you'll have 2 other sets of 3 enemies whom I'm going to use flash bolts on. Now, the guy in the clown mask who spawns over here, he will spawn like at the door area, and then he will climb the ladder. So when he climbs the ladder, he will get instantly killed. Now, when he does, you're not gonna see it because I'm gonna have the camera off screen, but I'm gonna stop talking so that you can hear. The second you let go of the key, you'll hear the explosion and you'll hear him dying. So listen to this. Did you hear that explosion? That was the guy, the clown mask guy, ascending the ladder and getting killed. Now, from this vantage point, we're going to wait until everybody drop a flash bolt, and then systematically stab everybody. From this spot, you have complete cover from the guy in the clown mask who spawns behind us, although we're protected by the partition. Now, I have attempted to drop an explosive bolt, but I haven't had much success with him triggering it. So, flash bolt, stab everybody. Make sure you have this up to level 5, or you're just not going to get all these guys stunned as long as you need them to. And then once this guy's dead, all you have to do is kill this guy over here. So wait until he does his burst, wait till he stops, and then shoot him in the legs and shoot him in the head. Just be very careful with the match. Like, this could have failed if he would have struck me with his gun. It could have failed, and that whole run could have been negated. So it's one of those things where, the match mechanic, it has to work, and sometimes it just doesn't, and it's lamentable, but that's what this game is. So there's nobody left. And the reason I know that the guy goes up the ladder, not only because I heard the explosion, but on my previous run, I stuck a I stuck an explosive bolt on the ladder and also on top of the cargo container where he was inclined to stand and shoot. And on my other run, which was imperfect because I used a lot more resources, when the fight was over, the explosive bolt that I had stuck on top of the cargo container was still there for me to pick up, meaning that he didn't just drop and spawn. I mean, he didn't just materialize on top of the container and spawn. Otherwise, if that had happened, not only would he have died, but he would have the bolt on the ladder would not have been there. Or excuse me, the bolt on the ladder would have been there. Sorry, I need to talk about the statue. You need to do is push the statue with your body over to where the little incline of the car is, and get it all the way over here, and then jump on the car, shoot this. I missed it, and then what happens there is that the statue has to be close to the car. And then up ahead, we have an enemy called a shigo, and the difficulty increase here is in the form of fewer bodies to shoot and use as bait for these guys. Now this here, I think this is normal fare. I think they only give you one ordinarily. But what you do is you just shoot. And the shigos actually are manifestations from Ruben's memory of patients who drowned. And that's what these are. They have whipping black hair. So when you get up here, there's no bodies to shoot. It's just a simple A to B route. And then when you get up here, you'll notice that there are no bodies. They've taken the bodies out. There are platforms over there to the right. But since they put a bottle here, I was thinking to myself, why are you giving me a bottle to throw? And I suppose the reason is it's to be as a distraction. And as you can see, the shigo is going for the bottle. But if you want to, you can just use the platforms to the right to jump off of. But I was trying to justify why it was there, and I did get my justification. So that's how it works ultimately. As daunting as the next section is, it's not too bad actually. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a street full of bodies, all of whom will rise from the ground and attack you in tandem with the two Ruvik imposters. Now, since matches are a scarce commodity, I mean, unless you've upgraded to 30 of them, I only have the ability to have 10, and I only have 5 at this point. I think I pick up another one here, and there's some down in a baby stroller. But the first of the two Ruvik clones, or I should say one of the two, will spawn right about there, and he generally will walk into that. If you're fortunate, he will fall down, and as you know, when enemies are on the ground in this game after you've stunned them and felled them, they're susceptible to the execution with the match. So on most of my recordings, I got him stunned and he fell over, and then I executed him, and it was as simple as that. By the way, you don't have to go up to the far end up here. Watch this. This is where he's going to stun one of them. Or, excuse me, send the first one. The first one is over in this region. But I'm looking for the one I'm trying to stun. See, he got hit by it, but he didn't fall over. So what I have to do now is use a freeze bolt and shatter him. I'm using a freeze bolt because there's a freeze bolt sticking out of one of the cars over to the right, so I'm going to make up for what I just used right there. And then disregard everybody else. Just use your shotgun, get the flinch and the stun, get him to fall over, and that's all you have to do, because everybody else is chasing you. Once you kill this guy, you'll get a cutscene, and then just run away a little bit. You'll get this scene, and then every one of the corpses who had risen from the ground, they just disappear. They fall back down. Then I sped this up. You want to collect the 2 green gels where the Ruben clones were, because they give you 1,000. Pick up the Magnum ammunition, smash the boxes, get all the matches, and now you'll have the ability for the first time in the chapter to go to the asylum, upgrade, save your progress, and then we'll be moving on to the next section. So there's the crossfade right there. There is the edit as I went back, and I manipulated the lockers to my own heart's content. I upgraded, and now we'll be taking on the next wave, which is it's difficult, but it's also fun. It's got nice music too. So here's some much needed matches. I'm still one short of my 10 quantity that I could possibly carry. I also upgraded my Magnum to damage level 2. Okay, so this fight is actually very difficult. We have a guy there. This is a construction scene here. So I believe she saw me. But what you need to do, first off, kill the one I just killed. Kill him. He's stationary. He will not move. And then at this point, we need to set up the fight before we actually participate it and remove some variables. Now, this guy here, I tried every single bolt to get him to start flailing around. He only does it with the flash bolt. You cannot hit him any way else, but you can get a headshot on him like that. The thing is, he aggroes about halfway through the main fight, and he'll give you no end of frustration. Now, if you want to, anybody who gets away from you, who's emanating from the garage, they will attempt to climb up the ladder and go up there. So, now that was a bad throw, but there will always be 3 enemies coming out at a time. And as I mentioned, if if one of them gets away, they'll try to climb up. See, that guy was about to climb up, I bet, right there, the guy in the back. So they'll climb up, and what I wanted to do was just have them get killed for me when they went up there. So at this point, when you have things under control, get the flashbolt out and freeze. I have the flashbolt up to level 4 of 5, meaning it covers 2.5 meters. So this is the next batch right here, another 3 count. So just the second you suspect it's going to come up, let loose. And then now, after this group, there's going to be 2 guys in SWAT vests coming out. And I'm using a explosive bolt rather than a freeze bolt, because sometimes when I do the freeze bolt, they run right past it. So they can't run past this, as you'll watch right here. And they should be coming out. Okay, so now they're dead. And now we're in kind of a one-on-one situation, although for some reason he dispatched somebody to try to kill me at one point, some other construction worker. I'm not sure if he always casts out a lackey, but maybe he does. I'm not sure. So at this point, it's, like I said, one-on-one, and I tried various angles to try to take him out. There was one point where I charged right up to him, and on the side of the bay door was where I was standing, but they won't open, and it just doesn't work. So the best thing to do is actually to toss grenades. I have 4 grenades currently, and there's another grenade somewhere else in the vicinity, I believe. So this was my first time trying the grenades on him. So I had nothing to lose, because when I use this one, I have another one somewhere. I'm not sure if it's coming or if it's somewhere around, but it's irrelevant at this point, because you just basically need to know, okay, here's this fucking lackey here. I'm running back here because if he has a gun, I need to be on him and put him down. The nice thing is, anytime, oh, he has dynamite, even better. Anytime you retreat from the door will no longer open. It requires you to approach it and bait it, and it'll open once you reach that middle area up there. Oh, there's the grenade there. So I figured I might as well try to throw a grenade here. I haven't thrown any yet, but the beautiful thing about this is that you don't have to risk your physical exposure to kill him. Throwing it from there is a bad idea. Just wait until he fires. Wait till he fires, jump up, and you could actually aim and throw. Although I throw well in advance of him shooting. Like, I anticipate when the door is going to open, then I just throw it. I think if you get a direct hit, it might kill him in one, but it took me 2 here. Oh, he had another lackey there. I'm not sure what's going on with those lackeys. It might be anybody who's outstanding on top. But once you kill him, providing there's no other lackeys lurking around, you've cleared the section and you'll get a checkpoint in short order. Sometimes when enemies are over here, they'll pick up the dynamite. See the dynamite by that downed construction worker? They'll pick that up. You can't pick it up, but they can. So now I'm going back over here to pick up the shock bolt to replenish my inventory. And now we've got 2 sections coming up that are very easy, and then 1 coming up that's very difficult. This fight took me several hours, probably 2 to 2.5. The part at the end when you're in... oh yeah, by the way, since nobody came up here, I'm going to recollect this, and I half expected this construction worker to rise up and kill me, but fortunately he was completely just part of the scenery. But the part when you're in, I'm not sure what it's called. It's some kind of a conveyor, just a conveyor belt, not a belt, but some kind of a box. I'm not sure what it is. You all know what it is if you struggled on it. That took me a good hour, a little less than an hour, like 50 minutes. But it was one of those things where I expected to do it much faster, and I didn't, because it's borderline cheap. It's definitely a pincer attack. So when you come down here, you only have to... Okay, so I thought I could maybe shoot him from up here. The thing about this guy is that he will shoot, and it's not. I was going to say from here on out they shoot twice. Sometimes they don't though. Sometimes they feign it and they just do one shot. But you can get headshots on these guys, even though they have a mask. It's not like a helmet or anything that fully protects their skulls. So, and but while I say that, in the back of my mind, I do have the critical up 100% at level 5, and the damage output for this shotgun or sniper rifle, I believe it's at 5, at the least level 4. So now, what you want to do is disarm the bear traps and disarm the bombs. There's going to be another ground-based sniper at the end of the next part, but I would highly recommend. I mean, most of my strategies, they have involved using the bolts, and I still believe the bolts are the best tool that you have in this game to win. And I would also switch I would switch from the handgun to the Magnum for the lift ride, because I have it on damage level 2, but I assume it's a one-hit kill for anything because it's meant to be extremely overpowered, but the bullets for it are limited, very scarce to find. So I'm just reconnoitering the environment right now, looking for stuff. This is just a door from one point to the other. I believe I've disarmed all the traps. So we're resting on a checkpoint. We're going to get another checkpoint. What happens is 2 enemies are going to disband from one another. One will be on top, one will be on the bottom. They're snipers with SWAT vests. And then you'll also have spawned 3 enemies, and they'll attempt to come up to this location. But it's extremely easy due to the fact that the first sniper is right across the way from you, and very easy to kill. Extremely easy. And the second sniper, he doesn't even technically exist until you go down to where we were before with those pipes. Okay, so it looks like he's taking 2 hits to kill, so just put him down very quickly, and then what you want to do is switch to your shotgun, take care of these guys, down them, and then fire them up. You want to at least get 2 bodies killed per match. If not, it's not the end of the world, but fortunately, I believe we got a critical on that guy. And in a second, you'll see me accidentally go down the ladder. I say accidentally because I was trying to press the context button to pick up the gel. So, at this point, we do have that ground-based sniper, but as I mentioned, he doesn't exist, and he will, moreover, he will materialize from thin air once you get to the region where that event is triggered in the scripting of this sequence here. So, and you don't even lose much progress should you die over here. I did die once, but I was being extremely sloppy. This type of cover is not desirable. What I would do if I were you is use the shotgun, down him, and then burn him. So, down him, light him up. And then that section's done. You're going to get a checkpoint, but you might get stuck on this part. I hope you don't, but I did, and I assume a lot of people do. So, put your Magnum where the handgun was. Even if you have to use some Magnum rounds, I believe you can get more from the lockers, and I'll be showing you where more keys are in this level for you to manipulate those lockers. And there are 2 more rounds after the fight too. If you do the auto jump after the fight, just don't forget to do that. I'll show you exactly where it is and what to do, how to do it, moreover. So we're going to come up here now, and these enemies, as hard as this is and frustrating as it is, they're not that aggressive. You're going to have enemies shooting, you're going to have enemies throwing axes. Okay, so, and also enemies throwing fire sticks. So did you see what I did there? First guy Magnum, second guy sniper rifle, and now because these end guys, the guys at the end, were giving me problems, I'm going to stick a couple of explosive bolts up there. Now, what I'm going to do here is use the sniper rifle on this guy. Any body shot will kill them with this. So this is guy. See, this got to be really routine. It's just at the end things get really chaotic. So at this point, there's a slight lull. A guy to the left will come down in the SWAT vest. He's hard to hit because he's running, but he will stop. And then on top of him, on the top level, there will be a guy with this. Although hitting those, you should wait to hit those because they don't do anything. And at this point, since we're almost done, I'm going to use the flash bolts on either side. And unfortunately, my explosive bolt didn't do anything. But the guy by the barrel up there, he was always giving me problems. So, like when they're flailing about, best time to shoot them. Like, it's best to have one side completely flailing, like all the enemies on one side, and then turn around and kill the enemies on the other side. And then when you whirl around, use another flash bolt on the group. Even if they're almost coming out of it, just do it again so that you can kill them and there's no threat of them because they're blinded for the nonce. So, I mean, it took 50 minutes. It's tough. I mean, there's no getting around that. So we used a lot of Magnum rounds. So we're gonna need to sprint and then it'll do the auto jump. So there's 2 more. It's a small concession. That's not very many rounds. Down here is map fragment number 16. Is it? No, 22. We're well past 16. And then we have a vending machine coming up, which is one of my favorite things in this game that they chose to do. It's really, really fun and interesting. Alright, next part coming up is to interact with this vending machine. I love the vending machines, as I mentioned in I think the first chapter. It has some gel, it has a statue, and it has a bomb. And how many of us got killed by the bomb when we first did that? Don't deny it, everybody. We all got killed by it. So when you go in here, that's the route to the insane asylum, and this has some more goodies. I just love it. It reminds me of Dead Space 2. This kind of thing. So, no bomb in that one. Or is there? Yep, there it is. So we're going to go around this area here, pick up what we need to, and just get through this as expeditiously as possible. We will encounter the shigo pretty soon. So in this room here, there's just gel, totaling, that looks like 1,000 vial gel. Yep, 1,000. So we're working our way up to getting some more upgrades. Like even this environment here, what is with the little snowflake particle effects in the air? It just bothers me. I like clear, unobstructed vision. You know, I like a nice, clean, fresh palette. So over here, you want to do the sprint, and then it does the auto jump. And then in this venue, they do give you a body, which is located over to the left. Watch out that you don't fall out. There's the body. So the ideal situation here is to shoot the body. I've made it through the gate without shooting the body, just to let you know if you're one of those sticklers who doesn't want to waste a bullet. But so far in my campaign, I have not had any issues. Let me move the mic real quick. I've had 0 issues with handgun ammunition conservation. So over here, once you get onto this car, here's what you can do. You can either go up to the ramp and see Laura getting chased by the zombies, or you can just get the checkpoint over here. This way, the video is a little shorter and you don't have to suffer through something that you don't need to do in the first place. So they give you a bottle over here, and it kind of just depends where you throw it, what the effect is going to be. That effect right there, it would have seemed that he should have eaten me. Now this guy will always miss you the first time you're coming up here, so you want to just shoot him one time and then he'll fall into the water. if you shoot him from the other car, you can salvage those wood pallets and then you can jump from one to the other. But make sure you hit this body and then just try to time your jump into the water. The best thing you can do actually is charge off the car and do that exaggerated jump that is really cool in this game, and I think it even gives you iframes. But coming up here, we're going to have a section that it's really bizarre because I believe there's a bear trap on the ground. Let me see what happens. Is there or is there not a bear trap over here? I can't see jack shit. This really bothers me. So there is no bear trap. But sometimes there is a bear trap. I know there's a bear trap on the other side of that window. And sometimes, see, really weird crossfade right there. I apologize for that. But what you want to do is get those enemies in a cluster, throw a grenade, and then stack bodies onto one another, start burning people left and right. And I mean, what would you salve? I mean, a lot of guys in this damn room. Definitely stack enemies. Stack them into clusters. Keep redoing it if you have to. But the shotgun is just ultimately powerful. I have it at level 4 of 5 as far as the upgrade. The final upgrade costs $28,000, so I almost have that much, but it's one of those things, do I want to commit to such a large-scale purchase or not? But it's up to you at the end of the day. So that's all the enemies here. You want to, well, if you're crazy like I am, you'll go around and do the bombs. How many are there? Just one? Oh, yeah, definitely do this. So that's 3 parts right there. Now we're up to 57. And is there another bomb too? Probably not. But we'll be fighting alongside Kidman in short order. And for the next fight, I would recommend firing as few times as possible because she's actually very helpful with shooting enemies. So what's going to happen now is we're going to open the door. She's going to come out. 3 to 4. I think it's just 3. Let me see how many it is. They control the camera for you here. So they're trying to have it be a cinematic effect. So let's see how many Sons of Horus come through this door. 3. So watch what she does. I think she even kills one. See, they're controlling the camera here. They're going to control the camera here. She's a very good shot. And if I were you, I would kite these enemies as best as possible. Getting cock blocked by that damn thing. Just run through here. Pick up bottles. And just let her do the bulk of the work. In a situation like this, when the AI is being so helpful, you don't want to waste your own ammunition, and you want to do kills like this. So at this point, she's going to take a stand over here. What's going to happen is we're going to have a haunted clown mask enemy coming out of the elevator. When he's dead, though, you want to open that elevator because there's a statue hidden in there. So there is no checkpoint. I just like to rush this guy. I just wait until he stops spraying and rush him, kneecap him, burn him. "7 years ago, we all went through the flames." You may have seen that quotation at the end of video 9 of mine. And sometimes whenever I'm thinking about fire or burning or flames, that quotation comes to mind. And I just think it's a really epic quotation. It's at the end of Dracula by Bram Stoker. Some people call it Dracula. I call it Dracul. Technically, it's called Dracula. It goes by many names. He's a shapeshifter, after all.
So glad you're all right. Ever since the church,
So this has turned out to be a very long video. It ranks among some of the longer videos. And now we have a pretty tough section coming up. I don't like it whatsoever. It's extremely cheap. It's one of those sections where, you know, I can't remember back when I did Survivor. It was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and now I think they're putting mannequins on these little sliders on the floor. I'm just going to be calling them sliders. These little robotic sliders. This is an easily overlooked map fragment right here. It's at a very sharp angle.
Have you been having any nosebleeds, headaches?
Why?
But I could be completely wrong. Maybe the mannequins were on the sliders to begin with. The thing is, if they're like that, and you're hiding under the bookcases and things like that, and they can't get you, that would be brilliant, because, you know, the slider would be able to get under there, but with a mannequin on top, it would be, by the way, those mannequins never give you anything, but I still hit it. There's also gel. See that gel? I saw that when I was rewatching this. There's gel behind that other canister there too. So there's a cutscene here, and this is a long... You're not going to get a checkpoint for a very long time. This part is extremely luck-based here. And every single fucking time you have to watch him cough and then zoom into this. Over in the room to the left, all there is a syringe. There's nothing to get there. And the thing is, you can't see anything here. I hate this, and I hate the kitchen in an upcoming level. So... like, I think this would be brilliant if they couldn't get in the little crevices, like right here, but they can still grab you, so I'm just gonna, I would just say make a break for it, and then in the next part, it'll be based on skill, not on luck, but it's still extremely cheap. If you don't know what's going on, like I didn't a couple of times, you know, you open a bay door, and these 4 guys come out who you don't even know are coming. And over here, you can't take a shot. If you use your gun, the whole facility will blow up. So did you see that? I still missed him, but he was oblivious. There's only 2 guys. That's the saving grace here. There is a fenced-in area with a bunch more enemies. What I will say though is you can use the harpoon bolt and you can use the shock bolt. It's just you can't use anything even remotely incendiary, including shock bolts. So this guy is lurking over here. If you're stealthing this guy and you go past those cretins behind the fence, see that one right there? They won't try to alert the other guy, so it's pretty fair in that regard. But the thing is, these guys have dynamites. They have ties on and business shirts and sticks of dynamite in their hands. And just be very careful. They have no more sentient AI than any of the other foes, because they're completely exploitable as far as coming up from behind and stealth killing. But you see how this gives the illusion of more people being in the room. I think it's personally brilliant. The lighting is beautiful, and just the fact that there's other bodies that are the same height, it gives you that feeling that there's more enemies. And I think it's perfect that there's just 2 of them here. But the irredeemable, I mean, you don't even get a checkpoint anywhere. It's beyond the past room. So if you want to, you can shock bolt people. But I got really pissed here, so I'm gonna stab everybody that I can. And there's 4 of them here. But if you have the flash bolt up to level 5, which gives you a 13-second stun, this should be manageable. And I'm just doing that for vengeance, pure vengeance. There is a statue on a crane. Here's another folly of mine. I've been watching a guide to get out, you know, like I've been saying, and you could actually hit it from here, but don't do it, because even if you shoot from out here, you'll still blow yourself up. And guess what? I blew myself up. See, it's in a crane. See the crane? It was off screen right there. But just secure yourself a checkpoint. That's the most important thing. I think you'll get it right as you drop down over here. And then there's also a save room coming up. So I just think that's complete bullshit to the oblivious player who opens that door and stumbles on 4 of those masked haunteds. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of smashing. We're going to go to the save point. We will go in that cargo container presently. But first of all, you want to go in here and save it. Save it, do all your upgrading, and then make sure you go in here because there's a lot of loot. There's trap parts totaling 3, 1 per those, and then there's a lot of bullets here. And these goddess statues, there's no way in hell I would ever find them all. So I hope that doesn't detract from your opinion of me, because when I do a guide, I'm focusing on the walkthrough and strategies. I'm not focusing on, like where hidden things are. So I just want to get that done as expeditiously as possible. So beware of this guy here. Just drop him, burn him, and then we're almost done with this chapter actually. So get your sniper rifle out, and once you hit these boards, I will show you where the goddess statue is. Yeah, we're almost done with this chapter. There's no risk of losing it, but how would you ever know to look up there? It's incredible. So hit it, and it'll drop on the other side. Just cross the scaffolding up here. You can't die by falling off. And I wasn't sure, this was my first time getting that key, so I wasn't sure where it was, but it's actually right in the threshold of this gate. And that has been chapter 11, you guys. The next chapter is not as long, so you don't have to worry